How significant is what we've seen today in Hong Kong? Civil servants defying orders to stay politically neutral.
It is pretty extraordinary when you see people from so many different circles in Hong Kong, not just the civil servants, but also financial circles, as your report indicated, and widespread support in the population for some kind of political movement from the Hong Kong government, which is just not forthcoming at the moment.
Now, yesterday we had the Chinese army that released a slick propaganda video. They didn't really say why they released it, but one can only assume that it signals a possible military intervention. Do you think it could come to that?
Under present circumstances, no. I mean, there would have to be a real total breakdown in order in Hong Kong before that happened. And I think the Chinese would be very reluctant to undertake what must be a hugely risky political maneuver in that case, because they would have to take the risk of using force and violence against the people of Hong Kong and perhaps even killing people. And the consequences of that would be so unpredictable and so difficult to handle that I think they would be very reluctant to do it.
So you're saying that the Chinese army would only intervene should things get really out of control in Hong Kong?
I mean, at the moment, we are seeing that the Hong Kong authorities are treating all this as a policing matter, as a matter for law enforcement to keep Hong Kong safe. But the protesters are treating it essentially as a political matter. And the fact is that there is no meeting point at the moment. And so we are just seeing things getting more and more worrying. And the release of this video by the PLA garrison in Hong Kong certainly contains veiled threats that this is something that could happen, but I don't think it is indicating at the moment that this is something that will happen. The longer this goes on, and if it continues to escalate, then who knows?
Now, these protests seem to be more than just about Carrie Lam. Yes, the protesters want her to step down, but even if she does, that anger isn't going to go away, is it?
I think that's part of the problem, that any political concession from the Hong Kong government would be seen as weakness by Beijing, and they are clearly not wanting it to happen, because the fifth of those demands by the Hong Kong civil servants is clearly one of the most important ones, and that is that there should be further political reform in Hong Kong. And that has been stalled for the last few years and has shown no signs of making any progress. And I think Beijing would be very reluctant to allow that to happen.
Now, how is Beijing spinning this at home? Do regular Chinese people really believe that there's outside intervention at play?
Well, this is what they get told again and again and again. And the more you get told something, eventually you believe it. And we saw that horrific incident with in the ice skating, with the Hong Kong team being attacked by the Shenzhen team. There is a feeling in the mainland, it does seem, that Hong Kong is sort of in a privileged position and abusing that privilege, and that the Hong Kong people should really understand that they are part of the mainland and should accept that.
But
and this
I'm sorry
is
to interrupt
really,
you, because
again,
yesterday we had the former chief executive of Hong Kong who sort of pointed the finger of blame at the United States. Where is he getting this information from? Because yesterday we did have Donald Trump who did react, and he said it's China's baby. China has to deal with the problem in Hong Kong.
Yes, absolutely. And there is absolutely no evidence of which I am aware that any of this is put up by outside forces. This is the Chinese narrative, because they cannot accept that what has happened in Hong Kong has largely been because of, one, the ineptness of the Hong Kong government, and secondly, the increasing encroachment by Beijing on the freedoms of Hong Kong.